Hey everybody, welcome to Forge Narrative. This is our Monday night live webcast. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm joined tonight by Justin Troop and Chris Morgan.
Get it.
Captain on deck.
What's going on, guys? Bay Area Open just completed. Our man Alan Pajama Pants bringing down the gold. He is on fire all over the country. Very happy to see him doing so well. Was quick to congratulate him this morning when I saw the news. So. Yeah. Send out another wide congratulations.
Man, yeah, he's playing probably some of the best 40K in a long time. He's finishing in top 3 of every major GT that he's going to, and I think he's pulled W's in just about most of them.
Oh yeah, dude is great at 40K, and there's a lot happening in 40K right now. ATC is just on the horizon. Everyone should have by now submitted their army list.
Oh yeah.
And it's all over but the shooting essentially. We're gonna get there and do our best going into these games and the missions. I hope you guys are checking out the podcast where we go over in detail all the missions, and we'll do another one this week for mission 3, and they're gonna run each mission 1 through 3 twice.
Yeah, those are good breakdowns, man. We always listen again too, just to hear how it sounds. And as I was listening to it, I picked up on some of the stuff that I missed while recording. So, I mean, there's some good tech in there. So if you're not familiar with the missions, definitely hit them up. Last episode and then the episode before that, I think 101 and 102. I could be wrong.
102 and 103, I believe. But it's one of the things. It's kind of a rundown in mission design.
Yeah.
It's where we go into a bunch of detail about each objective and why the objective is what it is. And we get people all the time that say, "Hey, I'd like to use these missions, but do you mind if I tweak them one way or the other?" And no, of course not. I mean, I'm just happy you're using it as a base, and it's just out there if you don't want to make your own missions or whatever, just take, because they're fun. They're all fun but still very competitive on the 40K side of things. But they're interesting to play, but not overly complex to where you're spending too much time worrying about the mission themselves. You still get to play 40K.
Yeah, I love those missions, man. I want to say that's probably some of the better work that you've done in the mission design, just creating such layers. So hats off to you and bravo, because they're just a blast to play, and literally the most engaging missions to date that I've played.
I really appreciate that. We've gotten a lot of the most questions have come from the one that's all about just killing models.
Right. Figure that out.
I get well, what did you really mean? Well, I really meant when that unit died, you get a point. Like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, no. What I meant was when that unit died.
Your final answer?
You got a point.
It's so simple in its core, but it's so complex in how it should play, and I think that's where people are coming up with these things,
The people that really want to try to get every single point, and this is not a slight, I want to do the same thing. I'm one of those people that wants to get every single point. But the people that want to try to get every point, they want a clear path to getting those points. And so they can, in turn, score. Well, it's not that there isn't. I think there is a path, but it's designed to where if you're mixing it up and playing the game, then you've really got to be on point to score to max out.
There's some brush in the way. But have your machete ready.
You've got to beat up your opponent, and while trying to minimize, you got to do some rope-a-dope. You got to minimize your own punishment while getting in there and taking your opponent out. And it's going to be really interesting to see how people put that all together on the tabletop.
I'm pumped, man. I think we're going to see some real interesting techniques. I'm hoping to see some really interesting lists. With the flood of stuff that's been coming out, and people are always talking about, this list or that list or this book and that book. I'm hoping that once ATC shows up, they're some of the greatest minds in 40K in the country, and I'm sure there's people traveling from across the way and whatnot as well. They're going to come up with combos that we haven't seen before, because they're going to try to break the meta. This is a very highly competitive scene and a very highly competitive event. And I think we're going to probably see some shift.
There's going to be 250 players. I mean, you're going to get the best players in the country. Now, granted, there may be a few people missing here and there, but by and large, it's 99% of the best players in the country.
Well, I'm not going to be there, so.
So everybody can sleep easy knowing that they have a chance.
There you go.
Taking one
Chris
for
is
the
finally
team.
putting together some bikes. Yeah, he's putting together some bikes, joining the ranks of competitive 40K. So hopefully,
It's true. Okay, I even used some of my Blood Angel upgrade screw bits on this dude.
Oh man.
The helmet and the shoulder pad and all that. Got my custom grab gun. See, one of the things I had trouble with is I was like, okay, so this guy's got a sword, right? He's got a close combat weapon, and he's got a gun. How the heck is he driving?
He doesn't need to. Like the Chapter Master, he's got Power Fist on one side, Shield on the other side. He just like.
I just figured I'm never going to use the bolt gun, so I cut one of them off and put a combi grab on there instead. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, all right.
Don't write off the bolt gun. Sometimes that twin link bolt gun comes into it.
It's still twin linked. There's a bolt gun underneath my grab gun, my combi grab. There's bolts involved.
So obviously ATC right around the corner, and that is going to be an amazing time. I cannot wait. The area, it's a nice area. It's really low key. Yeah, there's lots of places to kind of relax and be kind of in a kind of low key part of the country.
Yeah.
The most exciting thing around there is going to be us, like all the 40K players.
When I was a kid, my dad was a long haul truck driver, and their base of operations was out of Chattanooga, and I went with him over the summer, and I was like, Dad, where is anything? And he was like, What are you talking about, man? We're here. And I was like, get out of here.
Well, it's better. I mean, back then it was a very. I don't want to say desolate because there were people there, but there wasn't a ton of things to do. There still isn't a ton of things to do. Yeah. But it's going to be the epicenter of 40K for that weekend.
Well, what you guys got to do is take a leaf out of the TPN book, take your shirts off, and run through town yelling "Wah!" like orcs, and
I don't know if that's going to help. That will probably get you tased and put away.
Yeah, that town's not ready.
There's probably not enough cops to tase everybody there.
Good news, though, it's not a dry county. You can buy booze on site. Not on site, not at the place, but at least not too far from the.
Yeah.
Oh man, you just sold it for me.
Yeah, and look, I'm just putting it out there. I mean, everyone's already coming. I don't know if they have any slots left. So, next year, I'm telling you, next year, if you haven't already made your plans to come, this is going to be the place to be. It's such a great atmosphere, and everyone's there, having a great time. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome this year also.
2016 ATC, I don't know if you guys know this already, but FTN won. But, No, yeah. No,
we won before. Now look,
Justin's been doing Zinch some favors.
Yeah, I sold my soul to Zinch.
I've been painting figures, getting ready for helping out somebody with their army list. Yeah, it's been. I did a bunch of painting this past weekend. I painted. I got more than just a base coats on probably 23, 24 demons.
Yeah, you were like demon farming. It was insane. It was picture after picture, and Paul's hitting us up. He's like, "Yo, check this guy out." And I'm like, "Whoa, how'd you do that so quick?" It was just like, "Bow, bow, 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 bow."
It's really hot. Related story. There have been a lot of ritual human sacrifices in the Atlanta area. You may want to stay away for a little while.
Yeah, and they look fresh too, man. It's not like some Buster paint job where you just like slap some paint on to call it good, man. They're like fresh highlights. Fades, shades, you name it.
I'm blessed by knowing a lot of painters, and so I'm able to get if whenever I need to know what color goes with what color, I'm able to hit them up. If I ever need a quick technique, I can hit them up too. And it does good work. I mean, it saves time on the hobby when you have a couple of ideas and have people to bounce things off of. You guys included, bounce things off y'all. Like, hey, does this snake hair go with this other?
I think the green hair won. That's all I'm saying.
Green hair. You suggested green, and Chris suggested yellow, and I went with it. Yeah, so there was it fades out to yellow. So thank you all for the effort.
Yeah,
so now we're kind of in a downtime for 40K releases right now. Now my prediction is that we are going to see Zinch Demonkin on the horizon. I think we're going to see it.
You all better listen to TPM right here, right now, because the Ogren launcher debuted today, and that's prophetic stuff.
Okay. Now, I wasn't sure I was going to bring this up, so thank you for the selection. A couple of if you go to the Games Workshop site right now, and this is just today on 7/13. If you go to the 40K tab, you will see two or three different slides, like in their rotation there, and one of them goes to an Ogren formation where it's 9 Ogren and a Baneblade Stormlord or whatever it is, the Gatling cannon, which is
volcano cannon. Yeah.
Without. This can't be a coincidence. This is exactly what we talked about a year ago on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the only thing to make Ogrins decent is a way to propel them into battle.
I will have to say, I think that GW's listening, clearly.
And they have a sense of humor.
we put a lot of effort and work. I ended up having to make 2 separate Ogren launchers. Both destroyed in the mail.
Let me go get. I'm gonna go get it. You guys entertain. I'm gonna go get people the Ogre launcher right now because I haven't shut it off in a little while.
Yeah, man, that thing was a nightmare. It was a blessing. It was a curse. I so much blood, mostly sweat, and a few tears went into that Ogre launcher.
Well, I'll tell you, the only thing that's missing off the GW one that isn't basically what you built is, the obligatory Yarick secondary launcher.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man.
You gotta throw that guy in. I don't care what you throw him at. He's not going. He's not gonna die.
Here it is. Here's the Ogre launcher. Now I don't have the sponsors on there because it was too many points for the lift. Now you don't get this on the standard kit, but I tell you, you might be able to get some cheap Skaven parts out there in the world right now. And that's what this thing is made out of.
The Exterminator has finished his job, and there are Skaven bits for everybody. All the Skaven bits.
We called this thing the Ogre launcher, and this is up for pre-order right now on the Games Workshop site.
Yes. It was probably the most entertaining moment in my life in a long time when I was swiping through, and I was like, oh, what does this say? Pre-orders on the 40K side? What are they really going to joke us and put the Storm Heralds in there? I looked and I saw it, and the first thing I was like, Paul, no, here it is. And everybody, man, it was too much fun.
What that really probably means, though, is that we might get some Astra Militarum formations, which they don't have any.
Man.
Aren't there some in that campaign book that came out right after the Space Wolf book dropped? I thought there were some tank formations and stuff, right?
You talking about the one that has the adamantium lance in it?
Yes. The only one that people ever pay attention to.
Right. I don't think so.
I thought that there was a Lehman Russ one, but I could be mistaken.
I'm pretty sure there was, but I don't know what it did or where it. I didn't. It's Sanctus Reach. That's the one. The Sanctus Reach campaign.
That's what it is.
If it exists, it was so underwhelming nobody knows about it.
Or it was just overshadowed by the giant Night Titans.
No. Yeah, adamantium lance is what basically makes it to where, because nothing else in that book was all that great.
Yeah. If you think about the possibilities, like once the Astra Militarum, that still hurts to say, once they get updated to this new Decurion style kind of thing and they start getting some formations and stuff, I can't see how their power is going to be matched by anybody else. There's just too many things. They've already got the squadrons of the vehicles, so that innately they were already better than Space Marines because they have more tanks. Their tanks are so versatile in how you can equip them.
Yeah, I mean, how cool is it going to be where but gets a free transport, platoon squad, that kind of stuff. Models, because I mean, each platoon, just if you just select the platoon, you could have a Chimera for the command squad, a Chimera for the 2 platoons,
and Torox too.
That might get out of hand quick. Yeah. Oh, the Torox is probably a superior vehicle, but it's not a tank.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is not.
Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that came up.
The
actually.
Torox.
It's something else. That's what it is. I mean, it's
just a transport. It's just a vehicle transport.
The thing that for people that don't know what makes a Torox slightly better than a Chimera is it's a little bit cheaper. I want to say it's either 15 or 10 points cheaper out the gate, Yes, it's got
It is
one
cheaper,
less
significantly
AV.
cheaper. On the wide scale, it's significantly cheaper.
Yeah. So when you're spamming, like when you're going for that tank guard kind of list, and you're spamming as much mech as you can and shoving as many dudes in trucks as you can, that's a good way to save points because over the broad spectrum of 2 platoons, you have enough to basically get a free
No
platoon
fire
or
points,
something.
though.
You know, there's 2. I thought.
No fire points.
Ooh. Oh. Never mind. I'm backtracking. It sucks. No, it doesn't suck. Good. It's still good. The cannon on it's good and stuff like that. It's a good cheap alternative. If points are tight.
I think the Talrox Prime is actually good now. Now it's more expensive.
That's
I think the Talrox Prime is pretty good.
Yeah, it's fast and it's got a lot more guns.
Well, it's got that mini Punisher you can put on it, right? That's the one that I like.
You can put good guns on it. And a full line of Talrox Prime. You can get that vehicle upgrade that gives them adamantium will. You could have like 27 Talroxes all with adamantium will.
Relic plating, I believe it's called.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that does.
Well,
I don't know what that does.
I'm just gonna deny the witch with my tanks. I don't know why you want it. I'm just gonna deny the witch with my tanks all the day long.
Oh, well, pyromancy is a thing, so you got to be aware of that melta shot that they have.
True story, man.
If I'm, I don't know. Hey, you guys, thanks for joining us in the chat. I know we haven't gotten to a bunch of any questions yet, but thanks a lot for joining us in the chat. Okay, Coach though asked the Honor Guard. I think they got better in this Dex. Any thoughts? I'm assuming he's talking about Space Marines.
Indeed.
Because that was the question from the last one.
What do you
guys think about the Honor Guard?
Well, they look the same to me. So, I mean, they're good at what they do. Can you elaborate if you found some secret tech that we might have overlooked?
Well, okay, let's just go down with the Space Marine Honor Guard do.
You got the
for starters, yes.
Okay.
I believe that you can only take them in units of 5 still. That's what I think that
you can
go.
I'm going to go 10.
I'm going to go check. I think it's the command squad I might be thinking about.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't really have much for comparison aside from just the Blood Angels Honor Guard Codex, or Honor Guard Codex, Sanguinary Guard, which can go up to 10.
Honor Guard, 85 points, and you can get up to 7. It starts with 3. My apologies, starts with 3, and you may go up to 7 additional Honor Guard for 25 points apiece. The chapter champion, can replace his bolt gun with a close combat weapon. Not too bad. He's already got 3. He's base 3 attacks. That in itself is not too bad.
And weapon skill 5, so that helps.
Yeah, stay in play. Okay, the chapter champion replaces power weapon with a thunderhammer for 15 points.
Ooh,
That's not a bad point increase. Any model will replace a power weapon with a relic blade for 10 points per model.
That's not bad.
One Honor Guard may take an item from the Space Marine standards. So the standards, keep in mind, that you got that buff, that special relic standard or whatever. I don't know if that counts in there or not. But then you could take a transport for it.
Oh, you got to get a Land Raider because none of the other ones are assault vehicles.
Now, are these guys Artificer?
They have a 2+ save. They don't have Artificer armor, but they have a 2+ save.
Interesting that they would make a distinction.
Yeah, well, the power armor is even basically gone from this codex also. You don't have power armor on the TAC Marines and command squads and that kind of stuff. They just simply have a save.
Touche, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so...
Which, according to the fluff, these guys cannot go in drop pods. They are not in power armor. Heresy.
Yeah.
I like the 2+ save aspect. I think that once you spend all the points that you need to on them, they become cost prohibitive. But if you're looking for an assault or counter-assault element for your otherwise, if you got one of those Gladius Strike Force style armies,
then
this is not bad.
Yeah, it's a good addition.
And Justin's right. They would go well in a Land Raider. They can buy a Land Raider, but they would go really well in a Land Raider if you were already taking one.
Yeah.
Or wanted to take one.
You can't get a Storm Raven as a dedicated transport, but I do feel like they could do well in that as well. I feel like these guys would be a great counter initiation tool. If you put these guys in a Land Raider in the backfield next to your more squishy stuff, people are going to think twice. They're going to realize I'm going to have to deal with these guys if I get over there.
Yeah,
In a Storm Raven, you're right too. Coming out with the relic blades, if you put them all that way, and the 2+ save, I mean, they're a pretty hard unit.
yeah, they can jump down and do some damage. A Storm Raven might be a better play. Okay, let me rephrase that. A Storm Raven is a better play than a Land Raider. But
Well, they can't. They can't. I mean, yeah, it depends on how you're deploying or whatever. But they don't. They don't get an apothecary build, and that's. I think if you wanted to do something like that, best is that command squad.
well, I know where you can.
Unless
get
you want to go
an
up to 10
apothecary
models. I mean,
for
that's-
cheap, actually.
Well, if you're in a Raven
Out of
and
the
someone
bottom.
shoots the Raven down and you've got those guys in there, Apothecary isn't going to help anybody.
He might
No,
be.
but I mean they're not helping them either. Though. I mean, with or without the.
Yeah, I'm going to stick to my guns. I think the Land Raider is probably going to be a better shot just because you get that turn one, you get to just scream forward and you're ready and you're holding that middle ground. So whatever does come out
Well,
and starts making its way up, you can countercharge them that way. Stop them in their tracks,
with
man. That's
Iron
how I
Hands
like to
chapter
play.
tactics, that gets them the ghetto feel no pain.
Yeah.
And if you want to go with one of our favorite White Scars, it gives them hit and run, so you're able to kind of bop around with that unit after you jump out of whatever it is their Land Raider is.
Oh,
So okay, the answer yes, they don't suck. They're not bad. You could build around them, but I think you have to dedicate a lot of points to make them good,
yeah.
where other units get to be good easier.
Think about a Sanguinary Guard, for instance. Pretty much going to be about the same point scale, pretty much having the same profiles, but you're getting that jump ability versus having to buy a truck or something. So, if you're going to go with that, like I want 2+ armor and I want to be able to go hit things, to me, I would try to find a way to get Sanguinary Guard over the Honor Guard. Personal opinion.
If you're just modeling and painting, though, I mean they're beautiful models.
Oh yeah. There's feathers everywhere too, and I love
I've
painting
used the
feathers.
champion model. I've replaced his the one with the crest. I replaced with a bolt pistol. I think it was the Gladius, the small with a bolt pistol, and painted him up as a librarian for a friend of mine.
Oh wow, yeah.
I think there's
there's ripe with potential here for the models. I love the models more than I like their stats.
Yeah, that's true of almost anything in this book. I mean, just like Mandrakes. Mandrakes, back in last edition especially, they looked awesome, but they just didn't really do a whole lot that made you feel compelled to take them. That's a little bit better now, but at the same time, it is one of those things where you're just kind of, they're really cool, but I can't really make them work.
Yeah.
Otaris has a question here. He says he's running the Dark Artisan formation, 1 Talos, 1 Kronos, 1 Homunculus. Can the monstrous creature do a lookout sir for the Homunculus? They're all in one unit. The character gets to look out, and he looks out to somebody else in the unit, so I would say yes, as long as the character is the one doing the looking out.
That's what I would say as well.
Yeah. What war gear should give? Well, I mean, that's very dependent upon what else is in the rest of the army. So I'm not skirting that question, although I'm really not the Dark Eldar expert. I know how they can be tricksy and how to combine them with Eldar, but like a standalone Dark Eldar dude, probably not the best guy.
I tell you what, man, hit us with a PM in the Forge Narrative Facebook page, and then we'll make sure we get that answered for you. I have the memory of a goldfish. That's the best way I'll remember.
He actually already forgot what we're talking about.
Huh?
Yeah, right. Oh, what? But yes, I'm 99% sure that if you look out, if the character's the one taking the wounds, you can look out to anyone else in the unit. So I think it should be just fine.
I'd love to see more of those formations come out of the Homunculus book. I think that those models, speaking of cool models, the Talos and the Kronos revamps were really cool.
If Slaanesh, takes a back seat, what's going to happen to the Dark Eldar?
Yeah, there's a lot of fluff. If they're like abandoning Slaanesh, there's like a lot of fluff and stuff that goes about with being abandoned in a way. So my gut feeling says that it's just going to be a rebrand to make it a little less risque, and we'll still have
You're
that
probably right.
Slaanesh-y stuff about it, I think that the
And it's not just books. If they make a change to that type of level, it's not just to the books. They can't just take a page out and get it. There are many, many sculpts out there that have the Mark of Slaanesh or have it on it already in a kit or whatever. It's not just as simple as rewriting a couple of lines of fluff.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I mean, especially looking at what they're doing at the Heresy. Horus Heresy has tons of Slaaneshi stuff in it. The entire Emperor's Children Legion, for one thing. Even the Blood Angels, one of their key opponents in spoiler land, is a Greater Demon of Slaanesh. I mean, it's in there. It's well established. I don't think 40K is going to see Slaanesh go away. With what they're doing with fantasy, I think that Slaanesh will go away. Personally, I won't miss him, her, it, but they're trying to market this to a younger crowd. A younger crowd is not going to get mommy and daddy's permission to buy, one-boobed monster demon thingies.
Sexy crab hands.
I guess I think they're going to go with a way of almost making this almost like chapters, the way they had this success with the end times, to where we're going to play in the Age of Sigmar for a little while, and then a couple of years from now it'll be the age of somebody else, and the age of and things will change a little bit as we move along, whatever their timeline is. That is like a comic book. It's going to be whatever they want. There's not necessarily going to be a path that they need to go down. They're just episodes of whatever it is they're trying to push at the time with this game.
Yeah, it's got a wide open future.
Yeah, everybody's so upset about the Age of Sigmar. It's just like put him in one of those Facebook apps. Put his picture in there. It'll tell you what age he is. You'll be fine.
And what celebrity he looks like. But I'm happy with the age. Those models are great.
They are.
My buddy brought the box
awesome.
by this past weekend, and they're really good. I'm a big fan of it. I don't want to see all model kits become that way, but sometimes it's just nice to be able to sit down and basically glue together two pieces of a model and call it done.
Yeah, and some of them are a little tricksy to put together. They're great sculpts.
I'm happy. I think Slaanesh is not going anywhere. There may be something along the lines where he's imprisoned or he's been beat down into a small pocket to where he's not on the same level as the rest of the gods right now. But I mean, as far as them changing the god, I don't think so. I have not done much research. That could be Tyrion's symbol for all we know. Maybe Tyrion of the Hiles has become the new Slaanesh.
Well, wherever Slaanesh is, we know that he, she, it is having a great time.
Doom Rider, you can't kill Slaanesh. Doom Rider is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, 40K Slaanesh is not going anywhere. But in my opinion, that's the very thing that kind of trumps everyone's idea that they're going to stop marketing Slaanesh because of how just prevalent it is in 40K. In the Demonette model, I don't think that's going anywhere. I mean, there's a whole line of models that they still have.
They're PG-13 now. Yes, the sculpts before these ones, there was exposed breasts, and in these sculpts, there's nothing show.
You don't say breast.
I thought that's why I went to that route.
Well, you just said.
Look, stop talking about breast.
Quitting.
That's right. We got another good question here. Is like, assuming Games Workshop keeps up with the formations they grant free stuff, what would you like to see in the future for Nids, Tau, and Orcs?
You know what I want to see for Tau? I want to see close combat battle suits.
Death.
Oh, all right. I don't know if that's answering the question. What I'd like to see for Orcs is buy one get one free. So for every Orc you buy, you get another one at no cost.
You get a free grot.
For every 30-man mob you buy with a Power Claw, you get another free 30-man mob with a Power Claw.
I want Gene Stealers free
so
for
some
Nids.
Orcs.
Gene Stealers need to be free. Period.
Just period?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, okay, not like period, but take XYZ Gene Stealers free. Because they're so overcosted, half the time they don't do anything. They're good when they get to do it. It's not going to be game-breaking, giving you some free Gene Stealers.
I think what you want to see is better rules for the Gene Stealers. I think maybe, and I was getting a little bit off the mark here or whatever. But like, what kind of formations would we want to see for orcs? I definitely think like the savage orcs were really fun to play. The speed freaks were really fun to play. So if there's a speed freak army list, free trucks. I don't think that's any different than, and then have something really cool about them, like they can move an extra 3 inches in every phase, but they have to risk ramshackle or something like that.
Oh, that was.
I like the free stuff.
Rules. I want to see.
I love the free stuff.
What I want to see for orcs is, it's not exactly what free stuff can you get from orcs. Like I think that making a super awesome war boss would be, and you can't really do that now. You know what I'm saying? Even really? Gaz, I don't think Gazzy has an invulnerable save, does he?
He does.
He does?
Gaz is good.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a beast.
But you can't make another war boss with Mega Knob armor and give him an invulnerable save unless you've got a mech in there with one of them generator thingamadoos. But I think that getting some more characterful options.
The question is, what kind of free stuff would you like to see for these armies?
Free stuff.
I know that's the question. I just keep ignoring the question and talking about really what I want.
That's not going to help.
So touch on Tau a little bit. Giving them free stuff, like their devilfish are kind of expensive. So giving them free devilfish is kind of unfair to some of the other armies, considering what they're getting is like a 35, 45 point free thing.
Maybe if you max out a unit of Pathfinders, you get a free super cannon for them, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Like I would like to see free gun options for them. Maybe mimic the AdMech Warhost thing, where you have to take like a plethora of things throughout their line, and then all their guns and all their hard points and stuff like that are free. I think that would be the best way. Not giving them free vehicles or free models, I don't think is the right way to go with Tau.
I honestly think, though, that free vehicles are going to be the way of the future, because think about it this way. The vehicles as dedicated transports are fairly inexpensive on the point side. Now. Mm-hmm. Like something that's basically just a vehicle to get your actual fun things into the fight. They priced very moderately on the point side.
Yes.
But it's an expensive kit. Each one of these kits is $40+.
Okay, you're thinking like a businessman. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think realistically what we're going to see is continue to see things that give us free transports or free expensive things we have to buy. Like if the kit is $40, they might give it away for free eventually, like point wise.
So if they get really greedy, we're about to see free Riptides. That's what we're about to see.
we'll probably
I like my suggestions better.
Yeah, we'll probably see things like something along the lines of take this formation and get X transports for free. I mean, I think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
For NIDS, I don't know how we're going to do that. NIDS is probably the more interesting one to talk about. Although they got those Spore Mine, the drop pods. Those things are expensive and fairly obnoxious to put together.
Yeah.
But what I would like to see themey to what you guys' point were is like if you build an infiltration or some kind of what they call the Vanguard or the Host, whatever the Gene Stealers used to be. The Gene Stealers used to go in and be like, if you saw a Gene Stealer show up on your world, you knew that the biomass was going to be there within the next 100 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So you guys may not realize this, but Arias is the symbol next to his name means fire. So I'm glad you're on fire, sir. Stay hot.
Oh, that's
pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Japanese. Chris is hitting us with that worldly knowledge of his.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help it. Like Chris, I'm also hesitant to want to embrace all the freeness that we're seeing because it throws off point scales. If you're somebody who doesn't have a codex that you want to play that has all the free stuff, then you're basically playing down in an 1850 game. Your opponent's playing with 2,500 points, and you're only playing with 1850, and that can create some mismatches. The idea of balance through points just gets thrown right out the window.
I agree with you, but I have a counterpoint. The counterpoint that I have
is this actually going to be on the point of the conversation?
this time for you, Paul. I will do that. My counterpoint is that some things that are equipped similarly are worth different points, right? So you can have armies that are pointed equally, but in terms of efficiency, aren't as efficient point-wise. So you take, just like the AdMech formation, for example, there are upgrades and there are items in there that you said you would take that you would never take because for what they do, they cost too much, right?
Yeah.
That's
get
an
that
element of armyless design. You want that because certain armies should be better at certain things than the others. That's why you have these things and why that's okay for the most part. What I've always said, though, is that whatever it is you're requiring me to take, and then we don't have this so much anymore. Like in not the so distant memory, where not you, somebody out there would expect me to take 40% troops. But 40% Space Marine troops does not equal 40% Guardian troops. And Eldar Guardian troops, and that should have been the case. Like when I take 100 points of Space Marines, that should equate to 100 points of Guardians, and 100 points of Orcs, and 100 points of Tau, and 100 points of Nids. Now we don't have that anymore. We don't live in that world anymore. I would like to see us get back towards that for the core, whatever it is we decide is the core, and that way, if you apply a little bit of sanity to what you give armies past that, then things like freebies can make sense and make the difference. Like if I'm Tau and I'm supposed to be good at shooting, you can give me some free guns or a ballistic skill upgrade or something. And
much needed ballistic skill upgrade. I agree.
And people might not care as much because they look at my list and go, "I'm the guy that's supposed to be good at shooting."
Yeah. Why is Tau BS3? For God's sakes, they are like the shootiest army in the world.
Because you don't understand.
Because they're not Space Marines, okay? They're not Space Marines.
But I'm fine with that. They have great guns. They're not as practiced with it because they haven't been around the 10,000 years or whatever.
They're the most advanced civilization.
Necrons say what?
I didn't know you're such a Tau fan.
I hate Tau.
It's just like Justin's inventing Tau. I don't know what to say.
Where I'm going with this though is that if we get some free stuff that like in that Blood Angel formation that nobody gives a crap about.
I give a crap.
The Vanguard.
The Vanguard vets get a free Lightning Claw or a power weapon, and nobody cares. They're good. They're supposed to be good at assault.
Yeah.
And it's like fine. The Stern Guard get free combi weapons. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Free 400 points of free upgrades. Okay?
It was like a 30-second internet meltdown. And then something else came out, and it was like, oh my God!
Part of the reason, it's psychological. Part of the reason that nobody cares is because it's very much in line with what those units do. It's a Blood Angel unit that we know it's established that Blood Angels are chapter Marines, so they're good with their bolters. Who cares? All right, they have ornate-looking armor. Stern Guard have really good-looking armor. Vanguard's supposed to be good at assaulty. Blood Angel's supposed to be good at assaulty. They got some free assault weapons. Who cares? Nobody cares.
I'm about to put that in the list. I'm about to make people fear the 400.
Look, I'm with
one thing Justin will not put in a list to just shove it in your face and say, "Oh yeah, look what I did," and I beat you with it.
True story.
When you get these other lists out there, like the Guardians, Eldar Guardians get some weapons and upgrades for free, and again, nobody cares, all right? But when you start going into the Space Marines, and free rhinos, free drop pods, free razorbacks.
And everybody starts losing their minds.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations to where that's now every one of those squads, and it can just be a 5-man squad, gets 35 points worth of free upgrades.
Yeah.
And you're still looking at around 400 points, 500 points, so it's no different than the Blood Angel one. It's how it's applied. And I'm also fine with that Space Marine formation. It makes sense to me. But when you put everything objective secured, they just went too far with it.
Yeah.
I care less and less about objective secured. Maybe I should care more about it, but I just find that
it's the difference between winning and losing games.
I end up killing whatever has objective secured anyways, so it doesn't really affect me that much. But hey, here's an internet fist bump for you, Arias. I appreciate that. I'm just going to go on with the follow-up question he asked for us. Are you more okay with the free stuff formations if what they grant is war gear that only provides special rules like toxin sacks as opposed to weaponry or transports?
That seems to be just fine with the internet. That's where I was going with the point. Is that it's just fine with the internet when you get war gear, but when you start applying it to, because okay, it really is. There's nothing more saying. Let's just say that I cannot go out and buy 10 rhinos. I don't want to. All right,
I don't blame you.
I come to a table and I'm playing against a guy who's using 25 drop pods, or 25
that
rhinos.
Poor dude.
No, I mean, and it's yeah. Aside is like it comes down to if I'm just going to spend more to win 40K, and that doesn't sit well with people.
Pay to win philosophy, yeah.
But that has always been the case, though. That has always been the case.
Has not always been the case. Has been the case for quite some time. The only reason that people spend a lot right now is because they want to keep up with all the new codexes. Back in not again 10 years ago, people would look at me and say, "You're a Blood Angel player," and I'd play Blood Angels. Orcs would be released, Space Wolves would be released, Tau would be released, whatever. I wouldn't even blink at getting that army. But now we're caught up in the Games Workshop has convinced us to come along with him and buy stuff every time. So, and that's why people think you need to pay to win. But that's not what it is. Paying to win now is getting all these free things they want us to buy built into the formation.
Well, I just did some math. I'm relatively crappy at that. You're getting 740 free points of Razorbacks. I didn't even do Rhinos. Razorbacks with 12 5-man tack squads. So it's 840 points or something like that for the Marines. Now factor in the 740 plus free points, you're almost doubling your points just in transports, and I think that's where some of the field bad Z's is coming along too. You know, that's way more than 400 points in power swords and lightning claws, dude.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. At the same time, my Razorbacks rarely do anything for me nowadays. Like I put the last plas on them, but I mean, a lot of times I feel like I'm giving up kill points.
That formation is really good at scoring in win-loss tournaments.
Yeah.
Win-loss tournaments typically don't focus a lot on kill points. They're focused
with you there.
On kind of skirting around and clamoring for objectives towards the end of the game, or a progressive type situation, which we on a fan of. And so those type of armies really do well in that environment. So we've got to constantly be innovating to make the game fun and keep it alive. That's what we do with great mission design, and that's why we talk about our army list. So, and I guess we probably spent too much time talking about the free war gear formations, but it's a very compelling and an interesting topic because it's not going to go away. Yeah. Every army is going to get one of these.
God, when Asher Military gets it, man, the ground is going to shake. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy to have been a treadhead. Yeah, very happy to have been a treadhead for the last 10 or 15 years or so. So I got a bunch of tanks to play with. Which y'all will see some of my tanks this weekend at the ATC. I got a good buddy who's using my IG army, and he's going to be rocking the house.
Oh man,
good times. I'm actually building an IG army at the moment because I really like the theme. There's something cool about taking a step back sometimes from the Space Marine and playing someone that's got a little bit weaker power level, at least from a model-to-model basis, because sometimes it makes you really appreciate what you had.
What flavor of IG are you doing?
Well, right now it's not very big. I just have about a platoon, what would be considered a platoon.
Are you using Cadians? Are you using Catechins and Mordians?
I've got Cadians that I'm painting up in a snow theme, and these guys are going to ally with the Space Wolves that I got from the starter set, just thematically. Those guys are for a straight-up narrative thing that's going on. I said the N-word, I'm sorry. That's going on in my local area. And then I am using Catechins on a desert theme to match my Blood Angels. So, I have all my Blood Angels on a desert type base, so having the catechins with their kind of open arms or bare arms and they don't catechins wouldn't work in a snow environment. Let's put it that way.
My catechins work just fine in a snow environment because they don't care.
Yeah,
because they're hard as nails. And yeah, they're you want to know real deal? I always assault with my catechins too. People say like, "What are you doing?" Like, look, you see the arms on these jokers?
Yeah.
All sixes, all day long, punching fools. I'll take my catechins against anybody.
I wanted to do I started with Cadians because when I first looked at the catechins, they didn't appeal to me at first. I don't know why. Probably because I'm not.
You're not alone. You're not alone. I got my catechins mostly for like 25 cents a piece when people thought they looked silly.
Yeah. So when I started up, man, and I really liked the IG concept and stuff like that. I was a heavy guy in the army side, and heavy mechanized units and stuff like that, and shot big artillery. So I was trying to transition in, and I got so mad after I invested so much money in blobs and blobs of Cadians. I want to do catechins now, and then I want to think back throughout my time in service, and I want to model dudes that represent people that I knew from time to time through
That's
awesome.
Cool.
Years.
That's real cool.
So
I like that idea.
A big project for me coming forward. Probably about Christmas time, I'm going to start that up.
Okay. I think that's real cool.
And
I painted. Yeah, I haven't been a great painter, and so I used the book paint job for all. So all my IG tanks are basically straight out of the book, camo, exactly right out of the book.
Yeah, but you did it good though, and it looks really good, especially in mass.
Well, they make it easy. I mean, it's essentially Dark Angel green base with just a couple of their browns. It used to be Commando khaki, so some kind of base and then Commando khaki, and then and then highlight with bleach bone, and you're basically done. And it has a good look on the tabletop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always dug it, man. I thought it was one of the cooler armies. I'm gonna do mine in a desert theme because, well, that's all I know.
Well, mine's
is mentioned the Tau Titan. That thing.
That looks really cool.
I can't wait to kill it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, if it's got wounds, it's gonna be real tough to kill.
I'm killing.
I mean, I have to imagine it's probably going to have some type of invulnerable save, about 12 wounds, and a 2+ armor save.
I'm gonna give it a big old uppercut like on Street Fighter.
Gargantuan, on the table. I can just imagine that showing up on a table versus you and just whoa.
Yeah. Do they make Street Fighter hero clicks? Because I'm gonna have to get some.
I hope it can stomp. I hope it can do all that good stuff.
I'm sure it can stop. I'm sure it's going to be a gargantuan monstrous creature.
It's probably going to be very hard to charge that dude too with all its with Overwatch and all its guns.
It's gonna suck. It's going to be.
What if they gave it jetpack? Man, it's just
Tau. What
thing. Oh man, I can imagine.
Pointed efficiently, effectively, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be in that 600 point range. That seems to be where we're seeing some of the bigger stuff.
I hope not. I
mean that means you'll see it in 50 games.
The Core Lord of Skulls is going to get even angrier.
Well, you'll see that in actual games of 40K, if that's the case.
God, it's going to suck. It's going to be so good.
But is that what the town
robots
needs?
Giant robots are cool.
Look at that, man. Okay, so that thing, 2 or 3 Riptides, and then some crisis suits. How do you deal with that?
You got a crisis suit. All right, I'm gonna go get my big brother. Riptide.
I hope
I'm gonna get my big brother.
Where I get to take that in the Firebase cadre.
Oh man, Paul. You may not know this about Paul, folks, but Paul is a dirty man who does dirty things with his models.
That thing just looks cool. I'm a big Robotech fan, as y'all know, and it looks very, very similar to the Mac 3 or the Monster, depending on what your preference for fluff name is. And I'm really looking forward to it.
I hate Tau so much, but I have to respect the sculpts, and I do have to respect the rules. They are a very formidable army, and if this thing is pointed any kind of aggressively, Tau are just going to be just crapping on people left and right with the amount of shots. And when you look at the guns too, you're like, okay, so everything's got 3 barrels, so naturally it's probably twin linked. It's probably double tapping all of that.
It's got guns in its crotch.
Yeah, its belt is guns.
Yeah.
It's got like a
Guns on its
ribcage of
guns.
guns.
I just love that we're talking about this while Adam is not here. We really need to
Guns
rub this
have
in his
guns.
face.
Yeah.
When a real Tau player shows up to the podcast, then we'll really get some good talks. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all be nice. He's very good with his towel. Poor guy's got a lot to learn out of Space Marines, though.
and Thunderwolf.
Yeah.
Truth.
So Forge
No,
World
it's
has
good
been
though.
knocking it out of the park, though. I mean, right now, Perturbo getting released, the Warlord Titan getting released. I mean,
love
there.
you say for Turbo.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, this is a good time to be involved in 40K and involved in the horse heresy and stuff like that.
Oh, and I know we talked about this already last week, but I am so stoked for those Blood Angel rules to come out at the end of this year in that new book.
It'll be a start. We know it's just going to be like their Legion rules, and we'll probably see it where we'll get like a tac squad and an assault squad.
I'm okay with that.
I'm also excited because they're talking about having all the Primarch models released by Christmas. At least for all of the released.
Yeah,
all the released
I'd be more. I'm like, no, that won't happen. We don't.
I was going to say, wait a minute, what?
I hope it does, but at the same time, I don't want them to rush any of the scopes along just to meet that deadline because I am very excited to see how Core X turns out. I am most excited, actually, out of ones that are remaining from the rules that have been released. Alfarius is the one that excites me the most to see how he's going to turn out.
It would be very interesting to see if they make two models.
The first Primarch I'll probably buy will probably be Magnus the Red if he comes out before Sanguinius.
Now, we only have a few minutes left, and while we're talking about Primarchs right now, so we got a question on the Facebook about the first chapter master of the Grey Knights.
Janus.
So, which we don't know who Janus is. I don't think anybody does right now. Is Janus a name that somebody we already know takes on when he assumes this new role? And could it be the other half of the Alpha Legion Primarch?
Could it be?
I feel like that's a stretch.
Yeah, you might be right.
Well, that's
wouldn't it be kind of interesting, though, if one of them resists the other one at that last moment of temptation?
Alpha, Omega kind of. Yeah, I can see that.
We're going into some spoiler territory, so I'm going to throw that out there. But there already is, in the Heresy book series, a division between Alfarius and Omegon. Now, my personal view, because there is a story about how Gilliman goes to fight the Alpha Legion, and then he does a kind of a sneak surprise attack on them, doing some things they didn't expect because he's so predictable, right? He ends up killing Alfarius. Well, I think that what was really happening, and again, this is all speculation, is that was Omegon, who supports the Imperium, coming down to talk to Gilliman. They engage. Gilliman kills him before he can reveal that he was actually helping. That's what I think is scary.
Of course, the popular theory is that Garrow becomes the first chapter master of the Grey Knights, but he's not psychic.
That's going to happen.
He's not psychic. So they might have needed someone with a psychic presence to start training the psychers to be, or maybe they teach him psychic. I don't know. Maybe they bring out all the latents, the inherent. They spend so much time in the warp. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I can tell you right now, we talked to Jim Swallow, and he said Garrow is and will never be a psyker. So, if Janus is a psyker, then you can rule that out.
But again, we don't know.
Because we know people.
We don't know what Janus is or is not. All that we know is that he's the first person to be made the chapter master of the Grey Knights. So I think it's a very interesting topic.
You know who knows who Janus is? Mortarion knows. He tells Drago, right? You know the story of Mortarion and Drago, right? Out of the Grey Knight Codex. They did an audio book about that, which is the coolest one that I've ever listened to.
Yeah, that was fun.
And Drago basically thwaps Mortarion up the side of the head for even saying his name. But Mortarion's like, if you knew who he really was, your entire reality would crumble. Don't talk about Janus like that.
That's right in line with what I've been talking about.
Yeah.
But how interesting is it that the Horus story parallels Drago? What if Drago is Horus?
Don't you wish that blasphemy on me, Paul Murphy?
I do think he's a Horus or a Loki.
Horus. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry, Paul. I think it's a cool idea. It's a neat idea I never heard before, and it would be awesome to see happen.
If you don't think that Drago has Primarch stats, that you do not have an appreciation for Drago. That dude is the real deal.
He is baller. For 270
I get it.
points.
I get it. He's cool, but I tell you what, Horus versus Drago, Horus is winning that fight.
No way. I can't see it, man. No way. I'm talking fluff. I'm talking models. I'm talking freaking rules. I just don't see Horus beating Drago. You're gonna have to compel me with some good argument and some spit and some sweat, because I can't see it.
All right, I'm really struggling to see if you're actually sarcastic right now, because
no, I'm serious as crap, man.
Oh man, Horus would wipe the floor with them on the table. It's true story, but it would be a cool fight.
Yeah, Horus has It Will Not Die. Drago does not have It Will Not Die.
Drago has I punch you in the face because you're a buster. It's a rule.
Horus has 6 wounds.
Mm-hmm. Drago has 4.
And a 2+ save.
Drago has a 2+3 plus.
Drago has a 3+ save. Yeah, Horus has many more. Horus is 500 points, so he really should win that fight. Should win that, and he has 5 attacks, 6 attacks on the charge, a bunch of other, interesting rules.
Well, it's his claws. So, the more he hits you with those claws, the worse you get, because he's severing tendons and crap. You can't hit him back. He's permanently damaging stats during the course that he's beating on you with those claws.
So in just stat for stat, Horus is going to come out better of that fight. But that doesn't mean that Drago is not right in line.
Drago is awesome.
He's just one notch down from these stats.
Is Horus an Eternal Warrior? Do Primarchs get Eternal Warrior?
Yes.
They get all that. So
all right. I backtrack slightly.
Only slightly. But we know that, at least I know in my heart that all the companies from the Grey Knights are from the gene seed of the fallen chapters, and it only makes sense.
And some loyal ones, yeah.
And it only makes sense that the Paladin Brotherhood would be the Sons of Horus, Luna Wolf.
Yeah, I can see that.
They are the longest standing legion in the Imperium, because Horus was found first.
Yeah.
They were used in the pacification of the moon, Luna. That's where they get the name Luna Wolves. So to me, it makes the most sense. But that'll be an interesting topic for us to talk about on the show, or after we get done with basically we're in the middle of tournament season.
I'm just so proud of Paul for instigating and participating in a fluff conversation for the last 10 minutes of the show.
Listen, I do a lot of research and reading. The Lexicanum and 40K Wikipedia is it helps kill some time. That's all I'm saying.
I do not. I just smack my chair and scream in rage.
I'll tell you all the cool stuff.
I just
we got you covered, Justin. Yeah, I got you.
Thank y'all for joining us in the chat tonight. I know it's a little bit slow in the summer. Thank you guys for joining me here on the air. Anything else y'all would like to mention before we get out of here tonight?
You always ask that when there's not enough time to talk about Zombicide.
I think that's intentional.
We'll talk a little bit about Zombicide on after the break of the podcast.
Sounds
Just
good.
a reminder for folks that I've got a practice tournament for the Salt City Gladiator games coming up this Saturday, End Zone Hobbies in Clearfield, Utah. Come and play. You could win yourself some free tickets to the event. Gladiator Games is August 21st through the 23rd, and it's going to be awesome times. I'm looking to make 40K explode. So
get that Utah scene going. Well, guys, y'all have a good rest of y'all's night, and I'll see you on Wednesday when we record.
All right.
Cheers.
Good night, everybody.